Greetings. I'm the Computer King, the supervillain of streaming. And this is unusual to say the least. I haven't done an extra stream ever in the same day. However, this is National Novel Writing Month. The month where there are people who go out and, well, they don't go out. They try to write themselves a novel in 30 days. There's an entire organization that helps people out with this. It's called NaNoWriMo. Shorten the first few letters of National Novel Writing Month to figure out how they got that name. .org. And years and years ago, I tried it once. I didn't get far. I really didn't get far until after I was after November was far over, and I started putting work into it a little bit. Never finished it, but I think it was pretty good what I'd gotten down. This year I decided I was going to try it again. And try to stick with it. How was I going to make myself do it? Well, I linked it to the other act that I stick to. This is an extra stream. Specifically to talk about my writing. My in-progress novel, which, according to NaNoWriMo rules, well, it's started today actually, November 1st, and you have until the end of November 30th to write 50,000 words, a novel. And Marisa Mioria on Periscope. How do I do what? Make it rain the internet? I'm the Computer King. I live on the internet. More literally than most people. But I'm not talking about the internet or games. I'm talking about writing. And I intend to have a stream like this, a short one. A quick one to talk about progress in my novel. Every day. Unless I'm sick or, I can't stream. Every day until the 30th. And I would look very stupid if I were to get on the internet, on camera, and just say, I didn't write anything today. That would be dumb. So instead of being dumb, I'm being smart. If I say I'm going to do this, I do it. And that will mean I have to write every day in order to keep doing this. And not look like a fool. No one likes to look like a fool. But on to the novel. The title of my novel is Powerful. It's like powerful except for with an A and two L's. And basically the premise is 10 years before the events in the book, a comet detonated in the atmosphere of the Earth and changed things. And at a certain point, people began changing. Random people. Gaining abilities that some were calling superpowers. Some of them didn't get anything really super. However, it's linked to another issue. everyone who's affected by this change not only gets some sort of minor or major power, they also get a downfall, which is either some sort of physical frailty, disease, a problem with their power, a mental issue. Something always happens that is their downfall. Power and downfall. You have to take the good with the bad. And that's what this is about. Taking the good, taking the bad, and making the most of it. Becoming a hero, some would say, or a villain, some would say. But they're actually just people. And that's what it's about. It's about people, in my book. Currently, I am at 2,222 words. Yeah, it's odd. It came up with that. Well, even. It came up with that. I came up with that in one day. If I keep up that pace, I will get done with 50,000 words at least by the 30th, and that's awesome. I want to have a day like that every day. So, every day I'm going to try and write, and every day I'm going to report on it here to you after my gaming stream. So I hope you like seeing this face, because if you like my writing, you might see that on the the author section in the back of a novel someday. Not that I care about getting published. So far I've just almost finished the first chapter. Yes, 2,222 pages for the first chapter. That's okay with me. And I barely introduced people to some of the concepts going on, some of the movements being made, some of the main characters, or close to main. And some people will have thoughts about what the hell I'm doing writing. I should be out supervillaining. Supervillaining? Performing some sort of supervillainy. Well, maybe someday I will. But for right now, I'll be writing. And all heroes should consider that a nice reprieve. I won't be sneaking around causing mayhem. So, there were some issues that needed to be addressed in the book, and I have ideas how to address them. I just have to get to that point. Currently, the voice I'm using is third person, and it's omniscient to an extent. It doesn't necessarily talk about everything, but it tells you what's going on. I'll read the first chapter. It's supposed to get people hooked, the first chapter, but it doesn't always work. It starts off in the middle of a sentence, just so you know. And as chief of police, it's an honor to ratify the deputization of the first recruits since the municipal afflicted hiring protocol was reinstated. Chief Lawrence Halen stepped aside and gestured for the three recruits to step forward, as if the outdoor venue and open staging hadn't allowed everyone to see them since they took the stage a half an hour before. The frequency of clicks from the cameras didn't change a bit, though some of the more zealous photographers were moving about in the foreground to get as many angles of the trio as possible. The chief turned to face the recruits more directly and picked up the first badge from the podium, a signal to the first recruit to cue his approach. I messed that last line up because there's a typo in here and it threw me off. The last sentence is a signal the first recruit took as his cue to approach. That's it. I'm not going to go any further into it. That's the first paragraph of the first chapter of what will eventually be Powerfall. And if you're thinking, oh, this is a supervillain of streaming, he's got to be writing a story about supervillains. No, it's about people who happen to have powers. What they do with them, their own choices. I tried writing a book about supervillains, and it sounded more cartoony than it should. Of course, because it's about supervillains specifically, the way I was writing it sort of made them seem even more cartoony. There are things in here that I have to fix later, because I didn't, aside from that sentence mentioning the outdoor venue and open staging, I didn't talk about any part of it. I didn't even mention the location. At least the location of this chapter. Oh yes, it's going to travel. Don't worry. I've got ideas. I'd like to get them all down in paper. Who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll succeed. The worst part is, I hate editing. I don't like going over my own writing and having to change things. But that's what National Novel Editing Month is for, December. I think that's a little joke they made once, and it's kind of stuck. You spend a month writing a book, and then spend the next month revising it. There's no organization for National Novel Editing Month, because who wants to celebrate that? You want to celebrate creation, not alteration and fixing. So, that's the first chapter. Maybe I'll read a chapter a day. I mean, that's the first paragraph of the first chapter. Maybe I'll read a paragraph a day. So by the time I'm done, I would have read you the first 30 paragraphs, which could be a quarter of the book, a third of the book, a fifth of the book, a tenth of the book. Who knows? More like, if I keep writing some of the chapters the size that I do, it might be half the book. Yeah. Or maybe I'll read the first chapter of the first paragraph of each chapter every once in a while. I don't know what I'm going to do with this stream. I'm working on it. So until tomorrow, where I'll give you day 2 of National Novel Writing Month, an update, I'm going to end it for tonight. So, until later, remember, you can have a good night, but stay evil.